Namaskar and welcome to this exciting new episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sat means truth and logos means a study or science. Sattology means a study or science of truth. Mythology, on the other hand, was invented by colonial masters, both to America and India, same colonial masters. And they invented mythology using a Sanskrit word, dhatu, root dhatu, called myth. Myth means a lie, fake, or imagination, and combined with logos, and it became mythology. So, mythology means a study or science of fake, lie, or an imagination. So, at Sattology, we try to bring out as many facts as we can, and but there are a lot of other videos also there on the YouTube. You can check it out, but at least we give a direction. So, thank you all for joining. And today we have very special guest. He's an ophthalmologist or an eye doctor, and he also does research in his personal free time, and that is his extra work on the side just to educate everybody else. It is his personal interest. And without delay, let us welcome Dr. ML Raja.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So Dr. Raja, before we start off, and I'm glad that you're presenting on Ramayan, the historical facts of Ramayan. And my book was also published, One Arrow, One Kill. What was your view on that? Sorry to be selfish here a little bit.
No. It's not. Actually, without even you would have not asked me. I want to tell. First of all, I want to congratulate you. You have written an excellent book. Just it is mainly introducing Ramayan as a true history. That is a major success you have made. So if you read that book, I have completely read that book in one sitting. That much was the interest it created in me, that book. And it is an excellent book. I recommend every university students and scholars to read that book. You have presented in a precise manner the whole Ramayan. What Valmiki has written, you are not deviated from Valmiki Ramayan, and you presented in a nutshell and a simple English language so that everybody will understand what is Ramayan, what is Rama's history, and they can, after reading your book, they will definitely, I am very confident that they will definitely understood that Ramayan is history. That much you have written. First of all, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
I have read in one sitting. That much was the interest it created me to read that book.
Coming
you
from
presented very nicely and precisely.
Coming from you means a lot to me, and also to other viewers also who will read the book and get inspired to know more about Ram, because Ramayana is all about character of Sri Ram and also his historical appearance in the past. So thank you so much. And today we are talking about Ramayana, and again we're talking about Ramayana. So we'll get started. So what do you want to say about Ramayana to the viewers before we start the presentation?
When you read Ramayana, what you have perfectly told, it is not only history, it will kindle in your thing to become a highly characterized, civilized person. When you read the Rama and Sita and Hanuman and every character in that Ramayana history, how they reacted in every bad situation or also good situation, how they reacted, how they give importance to Dharma. That will create a very much interest and a strong feeling and make others also to follow Dharma, and they will become more civilized. So that is an important thing in reading Ramayana. So that's why our ancestors written that with that motive only. And you have also followed in the footsteps of Valmiki, and you have correctly introduced Ramayana to the university students and also small children, both in India and America. That is a good thing, and I appreciate your work.
Thank you so much. So in the
that too, you are released reading Ramayana in Chaitra month is more auspicious, and also you released a book on Ramanavami. That is a good coincidence. Really, you got the blessings of Sri Rama. That's why you are able to release it on Ramanami. So that
Thank
is a
you.
good thing.
Yeah, I worked hard for Ram Navami date, and so during the entire 9-day period of celebrating Durga Ashtami, I Navami, and then during those 9 days, I was busy in Ramayan. I was immersed in Ramayan. But you correctly said my book is just an introduction because there are so many smaller, finer points of culture. So if you want to learn about culture, then the discussion is in the finer points. So I have presented an outline, but if somebody wants to go detailed into that, and I'll always encourage the readers or viewers of this show to learn Sanskrit little bit. Ramayana Sanskrit is easier and simpler, and if you can read the Sanskrit, don't read the English. My book closely follows Valmiki, very closely, including I put shlokas there and exact meaning. I have not deviated, like 110% not deviated. But there are many translations available who add from their own side, and certain English words do not make sense, especially when you are not aware of Sanskrit. Then like things like transcendence, and those are very vague terms. So that's what I've avoided, because those words actually distort the meaning of Valmiki. So thank you, Dr. Raja. Let's get started on today's Ramayana presentation. So before you would
Shall
like
I
yes, please go ahead. So
shall I share my slide?
yes, please share the slide. And while you're sharing the slide, I'll tell the viewers that Dr. Raja, for this presentation, he has went through, he studied, he spoke to many scholars, and just to make it ready for all of us to see. And he's also presenting historical evidences of Srimad Ramayana and Lanka. So watch it very carefully, and let us all pay attention to this. So, Dr. Raja, let's get started. Yes.
Thank you. See, when we read Ramayana, the important thing in Ramayana is fighting with Ravana by Rama in Lanka. So Lanka played a major role in Ramayana. So we know where is Ayodhya. That definitely we know, because it is on the bank of Sarayu river, and there is Ayodhya town itself is there. So the question comes, where is Lanka? That is where Ravana and Vibhishana were ruled as king. Where is that Lanka? Is there is any historical evidence for that Lanka and many other places in Rama's history? Chitrakoot, Dandakaranya, Jansthana, like that many places are there. But after Ayodhya and Mithila, this Lanka is much important than other places. So first we will, as analyzing the history of Rama, we have to analyze each place separately. So there are two views. One view is the traditional view that this is Sri Lanka at the southernmost part of Bharat, India. And many scholars and also the traditional people and common people believe this is the Ravana's Lanka. And another view is, as per the astronomical text description, this Lanka, they describe that it is in the Rekha, that prime meridian of Ujjain. This is Ujjain. In the same prime meridian of Ujjain, which cut the equator at 0 degree latitude, that may be Lanka. There are two views. So in this session, just I will introduce how we have to research and what we have to follow. That I will introduce. See, I have told two different views. First, we will take equator, Lanka at equator. Equator is Niraksha, as per Surya Siddhanta, that is 0 degree latitude. And Kanyakumari latitude, this is Kanyakumari. This is southernmost tip part of India is Kanyakumari. And this Kanyakumari latitude is 08.0883 degrees north. So Earth circumference pole to pole is 40,008 kilometers. So this Kanyakumari, as per this derivation, it is almost 900 kilometers from 0 degree latitude. That is 898.87. So it is almost 900 kilometers. So thus Lanka at equator was situated at 900 kilometers from southernmost tip of India, that is Kanyakumari. That is from here, this Lanka is 900 kilometers. This is one thing. And as in Valmiki Ramayana, we see that Sri Hanumanji traveled 100 yojana in space to reach Lanka from seashore. That is from Magendrakiri seashore to reach Lanka, he traveled 100 yojana. It is mentioned in Sundarakanda and also it mentions in Mahabharatam. So Mahabharatam, it definitely proves in the Vanaparva that it is a later historical event that happened later to Ramayan. And they constructed Rama, Nala, and Sugriva, and all these troops constructed a bridge from India to Lanka. That length of the bridge is 100 yojana, and 10 yojana is the breadth. As per Yuddhakanda, many places it is mentioned. So it is 100 yojana. Then if we take Lanka at equator, 1 yojana is equal to 9 kilometers. That is the calculation if we take equator Lanka as Ravana's Lanka. And another view is Sri Lanka as Ravana's Lanka. This is Sri Lanka. This is India. So this place. So very minimal. So from Mandapam or Tirupullani of India to Mannar of Sri Lanka is about 60 kilometers. Then 100 yojana is equal to 60 kilometers. So 1 yojana is 0.6 kilometers. This is the calculation we have done. So if we take equator of Lanka as Ravana Lanka, 1 yojana is equal to 9 kilometers. If we take Sri Lanka, present Sri Lanka as Lanka, 1 yojana is equal to 0.6 kilometers. If we apply this derivation to the following sloka and also the linear measurements that are mentioned in Ramayan, Valmiki Ramayan, the bridge Setu bridge constructed on the 5th day is 23 yojana and the breadth of the bridge is 10 yojana. So if you apply 1 yojana into is 9 kilometers, then the total bridge constructed is 18,630 square kilometers. Nobody can construct this much area in a single day. That is the derivation. If we take Sri Lanka as the Lanka, then it comes only 82.8 square kilometers. That may be quite possible, single day. And Lanka, the Vistarana, that is area of Lanka, length and breadth of Lanka, what is mentioned in Yuddhakanda is 100 yojana into 330 yojana. So 900 kilometers is the length of a city. That is quite impossible. Even in modern area, it may be 100 kilometers or 80 kilometers, not 900 kilometers. 900 kilometers into 270 kilometers, that is not possible. Whereas Lanka city area, if apply 0.6 kilometer, it is only 60 kilometers to 18 kilometers. That is the derivation. And Ayodhya city also mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana, Balakanda, 12 yojana into 3 yojana. That means 108 kilometers into 27 kilometers. And Ayodhya, as per Sri Lanka, is 7.2 into 1.8. That is possible. And armed forces, what is the length of the armed forces length? That is mentioned as 10 yojana. So 10 yojana means 90 kilometers. So this is only 6 kilometers. Sorry, the spelling mistake is there. You understand? It is only 6 kilometers. It is 90 kilometers. 90 kilometer length of army, totally compact army cannot be possible. And another thing is Agastya's residence. What was constructed by Vishwakarma, southern to Sri Lanka, is 1 yojana length. So 900 kilometer one building length we cannot accept, whereas we can accept 2,000 feet. Any great bungalow or palace of a king, it may be 2,000 feet. So it is also possible. And Kumbhakarna's palace also it is mentioned as 1 yojana length. So the same thing applied here. It is only 200,000 feet. It is acceptable. And Arishta Hill, from which Hanuman jumped from Sri Lanka to India, It mentioned as 10 yojana to 30 yojana. One hill cannot be 90 kilometers into 27 kilometers. It may be 6 kilometers into 18 kilometers. That is acceptable. And hill range in Himalaya, when Hanuman traveled to Himalaya to in search of Sanjeevani, that plant, this is mentioned as 1000 yojana, that is 9,000 kilometers. Whole Himalaya range is only 2,400 kilometers only. So this is 600 kilometers, this is acceptable. So in yojana length, it favors Lanka as Sri Lanka. That is the thing. And where we got this Lanka at equator? See, if we go to Gola Deepika, an ancient astronomical text of India, in that, in the third part, 88 to 92 sloka, it clearly mentions where this Lanka at equator is situated. It mentions that it's situated at the top of the central peak of hill Malaya, in the Malaya islet. They mentioned it is Upadeepa. Upadeepa means it is a small islet. It is not island. So, in the Kumara island, Bharata Varsha has 9 parts, and out of that, one part is Kumara Island. In that, there are 6 Upadeepa, and one of that is Upadeepa is Malaya. In that, there is a small peak hill. In the top of that is the Lanka situated. So, it is at 0 degree latitude and is in the longitude of Ujjain. That is also important. 75.7849 east. So this Lanka is mainly described in ancient astronomical texts. Almost all texts, we can say 13 texts, we can see clearly this mentioning of Lanka. But whereas Lanka in Sri Lanka, here as per Valmiki Ramayana, where is Lanka city is situated? It is in the middle of Trikuda hills. It is in Malaya hill, whereas Valmiki Ramayana mentioned it is in Trikuda hills. So there is a difference. And there were no nearby islets surrounding Lanka, as per Sugriva's description. He mentioned only there are hills. There is no nearby islets. As per this Kiskinda, Yuddha, and Yuddha Kanda, and also in Mahabharatam of Vedavyasa Vanaparva. That is one difference. So, as per Valmiki Ramayana, as per Yojana length and description of Lanka, it all favors Sri Lanka as the Lanka. I am just giving the facts and you decide, you judge. And if there is any inscriptional evidence for Lanka or Ramasetu at Rameswaram, we can decide based on that. There is an inscription, copper plate inscription of Parantaka Chola Chakravarti, one of Chola dynasty of Tamil Nadu. It is Velancheri copper plates. It is published in the Tirutani and Velancheri copper plates by Dr. Nagasamy sir, a great archaeologist of Tamil Nadu. He has written a book in 1979. In that, he mentioned about this full details of Velancheri copper plate. And the date of Parantaka Chola Chakravarti mentioned in this copper plate is 25th regnal year on 193rd day. So they can calculate even day in year. And the regnal period of Parantaka Chola Chakravarti is 907 to 950 Common Era. So that is 1088 years before present is the copper plate evidence. What in that copper plate is mentioned, I have just thank Dr. Nagasamy sir and also Tamil Nadu State Government's State Archaeology Department for using these images. In that, it mentions this is a Tamil Grantha, and this is actually the core copper plate is in Sanskrit language that is written in Tamil Grantha letters, and also the Tamil portion is written in Tamil letters. So this is the Grantha portion, and it has been translated into Devanagari. Transliterated into Devanagari, and this is the English translation. And that what mentions the copper plate is King Parantaka Chola Chakravarti one offered Tulabara. That is, he has to sit on a this weighing machine on one side, and other side they will fill gold up to his weight. So that is known as Tulabara, gold. He has offered gold to God. at Sri Ramatirtha, where monkeys had constructed the bridge. So what he mentioned is Ramye Sri Ramatirthe Kapivara Nikaraihi Baddha Sedu Prabande. That is the word Sedu Prabande. Banta means we are tying it. Sedu is bridge. So Sedu is Kapi is monkeys. Kapivara Nikaraihi. That place is Sri Ramatirtha. That is a holy place. So what Valmiki Ramayana told about this is on after Vibhishana's becoming a king and after the victory of Rama, Rama returned to mainland with Sita Mata and everybody. On returning, he showed every place to Sita Mata. In that, he told on reaching this bridge construction point, the beginning point, he is mentioned, Yeda Drishyade. That means you see. Tirtham Sagarasya. That means Sagara means sea. Mahatmanaga Sedu Banta Idi Kyatam Trailokyabi Bhuchitam. All three world will worship this Sedu Banta and it will become famous as Sedu Banta. That is the thing he mentioned. This copper plate clearly mentioned the same name, Sedu Prabante. Pra is a prefix. You remove that Sedu Bante. Same Rama's word used in this inscription. So this proves that Rama Tirtha is present day Rameswaram because in 1088 years before there is no land beyond Kanyakumari and it is the only place. And it is not only that he mentioned that he gave Tulabara to Kanya Tirtha, that is Kanyakumari, and also Sri Rangam in Tiruchirappalli. So in these three places, so there is an inscriptional evidence for this Rameswara that share the bridge as the Ramasetu. So it proves that Sri Lanka is the Lanka of Ramayana. And Ramasetu is Nala Setu. What is geographical evidence? Around 1500 CE, usually people walk from Sri Lanka to India. There are many records, Dutch records are there. And the present day Discovery Channel, that is launched on channel, Science Channel, in December 11, 2017, says it is man-made. Many researchers and studies have been done which proved it is genuine. These are all the pictures. I thank for the owners who published these pictures. This is Sri Lanka. This is India. This is Rameswaram here, Rameswaram. This is Ramanathapuram. So this is the bridge. This Ramanathapuram, the kings are known as Sedu kings because Sedu Padis. So they are the owners of that. They are the protectors of that Setu, Ramasetu. That's why that kingdom itself is known as Sedupadi kingdom, Ramanathapuram kingdom. And this is Dhanushkodi. This is Talaimannar, just 30 kilometers area. Total area maybe around 60 kilometers. This is the bridge. This is Talaimannar. This is Dhanushkodi. This is Rameshwara. This is Pamban. This is the mainland. So this is how what satellite picture looks like now. See this one place, Sedu Karai and Tirupullani. There is a temple of Vishnu there, and usually the legends are something that Sthala Purana mentioned that Sri Ramapura did tapas on Darpa grass on this place so that he can construct the bridge. So this is there. This is Sedu Karai means from where the bridge has been started. Still that the temple is there and that place is known still as Sedu Karai only. That is Sedu Karai means the border of the end portion of the bridge in Tamil language. And is there is any evidence in Sri Lanka? Yes, there is an evidence in Sri Lanka for to prove that. This is Nuvara Elia, a town near Kandi in Sri Lanka, central part. And there is a place called Sita Elia. Elia means light. So this is the place Sita Elia. And there is a temple in Sita Mata temple. I get a great fortune and blessings of Sri Rama and Sita Mata. So I went there and worshipped Sita Mata there itself. This is the Sita Yaman temple. Kovila in Sankala means temple. This is the temple. So I have gone there. And it place is known as Asoka Vatika. Vatika in Sanskrit means garden. Asoka Vana. So it is mentioned as Asoka Vatika. Sita Mata Mandir. Here only it was told that Hanumanji met Sita Mata. This is Ganapati Shrine, and this is Hanuman Shrine, and there they kept Hanuman burning Lanka. And this is the Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, and Hanuman, all four idols we can worship there, and Hanuman idol. And this is an important place. See here, this is known as the Hanuman's foot. Foot what it has been in the foot symbol in the rock, Hanuman's Pata. So this is known as Hanuman's Pata. There is this is Hanuman Pata, and this is a small stream flowing there. This stream. So if we cross from Sita Mata temple here, if we go there, we can worship Hanuman's Pada also. Have a darshan. This is Sita Mata, Hanuman. This is Asoka tree. And these are all the things those people are telling. In these hill ranges only, Rama fought with Ravana and he defeated him. These are all the hill ranges, they are told. And finally, 2 or 3 points are only there. If there is any question, any doubts, or Aditya ji want to say something, I am ready to listen to him.
So one thing is in the Surya Siddhanta, and I covered that in detail in my book, where
yes. I have read that.
Simhala Desh is mentioned different than Lanka. What do you have to answer there?
Okay, in Surya Siddhanta, in one
also
place
in Ramayan also. Ramayan also, and there also, both places.
Okay, that is there. In Ramayan, many places without Lanka, there is no Ramayan.
Yes.
That is definite. But in Surya Siddhanta, at one place, it is mentioned as the Lanka, that is Niraksha, 0 degree latitude.
Correct.
It is on the hill Tadvan Mahapuri. That is the word they use for Lanka. That why there it is mentioned, it is for 4 cardinal points. 4 cardinal points situated at the equator, Siddhapuri, Ramaha, like that, Kritama, some 4 cardinal points. So what Surya Siddhanta mentions is, suppose if it is sunrise at Lanka, at one place it will be mid-noon, that is east of Lanka, and west of Lanka will be sunset, midnight, and opposite to Lanka is the sunset. Like that it will mention. So, to demarcate 4 places which are separated by 90 degrees exactly, for that it mentions Lanka, and mainly Lanka is mentioned mainly in the astronomical text, and also it is not mentioned as such a huge city. And as per Yojana calculation, we cannot say that from Kanyakumari to 0 degree latitude, it is impossible. That is the thing, 900 kilometers. And in nowhere Ramayan mentioned like that. That is why I am preferring Sri Lanka. Okay.
Also the direction.
Surya Siddhanta you have mentioned clearly. You have given Surya Siddhanta, Srimad Bhagavatam also. You have collected excellent all data and put it in your book. That is a good thing. You are not only introduced Ramayana as a history to thing, you are also referred many books and written as a whole thing. That also I should appreciate.
Thank you. And one of the things is like the Mahendragiri. So in India, if you look for Mahendragiri, you'll find at least 2 references of Mahendragiri.
Yes.
One is in Odisha and another is in Kerala. Tamil Nadu border.
Tamil Nadu border.
And then the 2 references. See, when I looked at from the Google Earth, and also the National Oceanographic satellites of US, in both the cases, borders don't show up because it's just because it is pure land pictures. So,
Yes, yes.
it's so I don't know the state boundaries, but I can say it's on the border. You can say,
Yes, yes. That is what you are told. It is Tamil Nadu Kerala border. What you are told is absolutely correct.
right? So there, when Hanuman jumps, so
Yes.
the hill goes down, and very
Yeah.
beautifully explained in Ramayan is in a very poetic way that
Yes,
the
yes. That
flowers follow
Arista
the.
Hill also you have mentioned that it is completely gone now. You cannot find out where is Arista Hill.
Yeah,
That also you have given in your book.
yeah, because when Hanuman jumps back,
Hmm.
uh, then because of the pressure of his feet, the hill
Hmm.
goes under. It becomes like a
Yes,
level land, samtal.
yes,
That's
yes,
a Sanskrit word used there, samtal, which is like a equal
yes,
land.
yes.
No hills over there. So, and one of the things that I had in my mind, and also I was researching, and I was just following the text as a guide, especially when I saw Sugriva's travel to the east and the west and the north and the south, Sugriva's armies to search for Sita. So it also showed that Ravan's influence was all over the planet, and you can say that he was a very powerful Rakshas, and he had a lot of power. So they left no stone unturned. Like there
Yes.
is, whether in the east, any direction they go, right from Udayagiri to Astachal, Udyachal to Astachal, and from the north to the south, especially. But when it comes to the jumping of Hanuman to find Sita, so they use the Mahendragiri Parvat, and it is mentioned Dakshin Disha. They did not say
Hmm.
Dakshin Purvi. Dakshin
Yes,
Purvi will
yes.
be Dakshin Purvi is Lanka there. And when I saw the oceanographic maps of, say, for example, just 20,000 years back, not even more than that, Ramayana maybe
Hmm.
more than that also.
Yes,
So
Ramayan is maybe lakhs years, 10,000, 20. We cannot define now.
it's like the 24th Treta Yuga, which is
Hmm.
very, for
Yes,
human
what correct.
calculation, it is very different.
Yes.
So the mention, so is it possible? Is it
Hmm.
possible? So because the Ramayana, Valmiki makes a very good point that he went Dakshin Disha, and after that there was a deep ocean. There
Yes.
is no thing mentioned over there. There's a deep ocean, and that's why he wanted to dry up the ocean with his arrows, because it was difficult. He could not find any other way but to dry up. And then the what Valmiki has said is that the Varuna Dev himself came, the Devta for the oceans came, and they said, "I will hold the bridge." But that point is absolutely southern. Like there is no southeast. They won't make that mistake, because when he's narrating it, because another fact is when Love and Kush recited Ramayan in front of Bhagwan Ram, they recited in Sanskrit, and they use Sanskrit over there. So when they recited, so therefore Bhagwan Ram accepts everything as truth. He said, "Yes, what you have said is exactly what has happened." And he was surprised that how did they know the truth? Because these are some internal matters, and details are not available, especially what they're talking to Sugriv, what they're talking, the internal conversations are there. Many conversations
Hmm.
are there.
Yes, yes. What you are told is correct.
So therefore, on that basis, I just followed the directions there. So when it comes southern point and then the ocean, and also there is a one shloka in Ramayan. It says that there is a mountain range which cuts the sky. There is an exact shloka that cuts the sky. So if you look at the oceanographic maps there, exactly that is a description of the geographical landmass. So when you remove the water, there is a mountain range which actually cuts the sky. You can see today also. I have put the pictures also in my book there. So if you look at all those evidences, and assuming that today's Simhala Desh, I call it Simhala Desh, which was a name, Simhala Desh was there even during the British time. British India, the local people used to call it Simhala, and the British, because they always massacred every single spelling, they call it Simhala, they call it Ceylon, and they refer to it as Ceylon. And then again, it was renamed as Sri Lanka later on by the Sri Lankan government. But before that, if you see all the official records of Sri Lanka, today's Sri Lanka, it is all Simhala Desh, Simhala. Even today they call it Simhala Desh. Their logo is a lion, even today on the flag. So if you look at all those evidences, and then that's where I just followed Ramayan and also kept it exactly at the 00, which is a exact reference, matches from Surya Siddhanta, matches Ramayan, matches and also there is a incident where he Bhagwan Ram, because there was one thing about Sri Ram, that once he puts the arrow on the bow, it has to be released. And the Varuna Dev, the Devta for the oceans, he says release it in the north direction, and that's what he did. And he especially mentions that if you release in the north direction, it should fall where people are in a very low class people who are not following any culture and they are living like a barbaric life. And then Bhagwan Ram gives an boon to them also. Where the arrow falls, it becomes a desert, Marubhumi. And then he gives a boon that you'll get a lot of water and fruits hidden in the sand, and which is very true, that all the dry fruits all the grow up naturally over there. And he also gives them boon of good health. But anyway, great presentation, Dr. Raja, and I really thank
Yes,
you for.
let me finish it up. I want to say 2 or 3 points.
Uh-huh.
Okay, regarding Agastya, in Aranya Kanda and also Kishkinda Kanda and Yuddha Kanda, there is clear evidence that Rama met Agastya.
That's right.
Agastya gave important astra to Sri
Yes.
Rama. It
He used
also
the
you have
same.
given
He
in
used the
your
same
book.
arrow. He used the same arrow against Ravan. In his
Yes,
exactly.
what Agastya, you are give full details of what are all the weapons Agastya gave to Sri Rama in your book.
Yes.
And also in Yuddha Kanda and the 107th Sarga, Agastya came to Lanka in the war field and taught Sri Rama Sri Aditya Kritayam also.
Correct.
That is an important thing. Hence, Srimad Ramayana mentioned Agastya as a great rishi. Even Sugriva mentioned Rishi Shattamam as a living personality in present tense,
Yes.
not a person who is a star, nakshatra.
Yes.
So, denoting Agastya as Agastya Nakshatra, Canopus at southern celestial pole, is not correct as my opinion. That is one thing I want to make. And the seasons mentioned in Srimad Ramayana, where in Kiskinda Kanda, Ayodhya Kanda, it all mentions that Vasanta Ritu starts in Saitra month,
Mm-hmm.
as per Kiskinda Kanda. In Ayodhya Kanda also it mentions that in Chaitra month the tree blossoming with flowers. So it is Vasanta Ritu. So Vasanta Ritu started in Chaitra month, and in Kishkanda Kanda the first month of Varsha Ritu, that is rainy season, is Sravana, and the second month is Proshtabada month, and also Asada month is the previous month of Varsha Ritu. So even now Saitra month is the Vasanta Ritu first, and also the Varsha Ritu starts from Sravana and Proshtapada. So that exactly fits with what we calculate as season,
Correct.
seasonal months.
Yes.
So it shows that there is no seasonal changes.
Yes.
Even when Ramayana, even Mahabharata, it
True.
also Sri Krishna mentioned that he traveled to peace mission in the end part of Sarad Ritu, that is Kartika month, and
Correct.
Hemanta Ritu is going to follow. So even in Mahabharata, even in Ramayana period, even now, there is no seasonal
Seasonal
month
change.
changes. That is a
Exactly.
definite thing.
That is true.
So what we thought, if it is precision of equinox, where the equinox revolves behind at a velocity of 50.29 seconds of arc per year, that is 1 degree in 71.6 years. The equinox will revolve all 360 degrees in 25,772 years. So half revolution, that is 180 degree, it requires 12,886 years. So what I infer is, we cannot fix the date of Ramayan around 12,000 BCE. If we fix, then the Varsha Ritu would have started in Magha month and Vasanta Ritu would have started nearer to Asvayuddha month. So that because Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana didn't tell anything like that. It tells that Vasanta Ritu starts in Chaitra month and Varsha Ritu starts in Shravana month. So it is not acceptable. That is another thing. And
Good
Ritu
point.
period
Because
and other respective months are mentioned in Ramayana and Mahabharata. Surya Siddhanta mentions in the third Adhyaya in 9th to 12th sloka that it is only oscillation of weakness. It is not precision of weakness. So this favors Surya Siddhanta. That is my opinion on this. If you
no,
want to tell anything.
no, great point, Dr. Raja. Because Sri Ram waited for 4 months
Yes,
for the Vasanta Ritu in the Kishkinda for
yes,
Sugriva to
Kishkinda.
complete
He
his
waited in a cave.
4 months.
He gave
And
4 months time to Sugriva.
yes,
That you have mentioned in your book. You have mentioned everything in your book.
right.
It is
So
a complete.
and
Okay.
also one more thing was that I also proved that Sri Ram never ate meat, because I this is a big misconception there, because everywhere when they mention Surpanaka says, I'm talking first the Rakshas, because
Hmm.
Rakshas know what the other guys eat, and Rakshas usually don't eat the people who for them it is impure, people who are non-vegetarian, they're impure for them, so they are eating only people who are vegetarian. Shurpanaka says to Ravan that he is vegetarian. Now, this is very controversial topic sometimes for some people, but I had to capture those points. Even Ravana says they live on fruits and roots. And on the seasons that you said, very accurately you said, he waited 4 months. Sita Mai stayed for 10 months, when 10 months in Lanka,
Yes, yes, 10
when
months.
Hanumanji met her, and then after within 2 months, Sri Ram reached there. At least, actually, the 1 month was spare. He reached 1 month before, and so 11th month Sri Ram was in Lanka, and it took around 1 month fight. It was total,
Yes, yes.
and then they flew back in a Pushpak Viman. They did not come
Yes,
by the
yes.
bridge.
Pushpaka Vimana offered by Vibhishana.
Vibhishana and
So what you see an interesting thing, everybody wants to come to Ayodhya. So
correct.
you get a hall and on reaching Kiskinda, Sita Mata told, so
Yeah.
this wives of this Vanara, let them also come.
Yes.
Why? That's Sita Mata recommended. So
Yes.
this Pushpamana landed at Kishkinda and all the ladies, they also get, everybody enjoyed that season. That is a
Correct.
good
Correct.
thing.
Yes. And
And
also, mm,
one more point I want to add. See, there are two places would have common same name. That is there in ancient period and also in modern period also. In ancient period, even you referred Sugriva's knowledge about four directions. You explained everything with photos. In that Avanti during Ramayana period, he mentioned in the southern direction also one Avanti. In the western direction also, from Kishkinda, there is one Avanti. In Kishkinda Khanda, it mentions.
yes,
So in ancient period also, uh, two cities will have same name.
can have
Now
names. Yes.
Salem is a place in Tamil Nadu state, and USA also has one Salem.
Salem. That's right. And there is a
Hyderabad
England.
is
There's a
both
England
in
in
India and
UK, and there is
Pakistan.
a England in US also. New England.
Yes. So there is an additional word new, but without anything, same name. So what I suggest is that is also Lanka. This is also Lanka. One name for two places, and we have to prove which one is Ravana's or Vibhishna's Lanka. What I have suggested is this Sri Lanka only favors more points, both literature and astronomical. I want to show one literature point also,
Uh-huh.
which I have forgotten. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 15th to 18th sloka, in the 10th kanda of 79th adhyaya, it mentions Sri Balarama's yatra throughout the nation. After visiting Sarayu, Ganga, and also Bengal, Orissa, Mahendragiri, Orissa also, He came to Godavari. After that, Tirupati, Venkadajalapati, Tirupati place he came, and Kanjipura. After that, he visited Sri Rangam, Kaveri river he worshipped. After that, Sri Rangam, where he worshipped Vishnu, and South Madurai. That is the present Tamil Nadu is Madurai. And since there is a Madura in north, they mention is South Mathura as this Mathura, Tamil Nadu Mathura. And he mentions clearly that he visited Setu at seashore, where he did auspicious donations, and then visited Vaigai. Vaigai is the river that flows through Madurai, and it mixes with Bay of Bengal near Rameswaram. And Tamaraparani is south of this Setu. So definitely Setu is north of Tamaraparani. So it cannot be at Kanyakumari. After visiting Tamaraparani, he went to Kanyakumari. After that, he went to Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala city, where Vishnu temple is, Padmanabha Swami temple is famous. So that was clearly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. It also proves that the bridge between Rameswaram and Mannar is the Ramasetu, and the present Sri Lanka is the Lanka of Ravana. And this is, I have taken it from your book. I want to thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for using this. In the 5th skanda, 29th adhyaya, you mentioned 29 and 30 sloka. There are two islets, that is Sinkala and Lanka.
Right.
So based on that, you told that it may be different. But what in that sloka mentioned is Upadeepa. All these 8 islets are Upadeepa. Upadeepa means
That's
is
right.
very small
Small
islet.
island. That's right.
So Deepa means large island.
Large
So
island.
what we know, Lanka is a great island. So this Lanka cannot be there.
Like the
And another
reference.
thing is Sinkala is a Janapada near Bengal, and also one Simkala was a Janapada in Tamil Nadu also.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Sinkala during Mahabharata period.
Yes.
And also this sloka mentioned, Suta Maharishi told, it was told like that, and it is an ancient history. That is Sakara princess who created oceans in search of their horse during before Bhagiratha, who brought Ganga to earth, and that was an old history, and it was not much before Sri Rama's period. That I want to add to this, but
Good
I
point.
have taken this point from your book only. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Uh,
And
and
you
my
mentioned.
conclusion. Before concluding, you can tell
Please,
anything.
please. Yes.
Please.
So the one thing good you mentioned, that many scholars make a mistake also, that Agastya is not only a star but also a person, because Agastya
Yes.
Rishi, Bhagwan Ram met in Janasthana, where he got the weapons, and from Janasthana, Agastya Rishi asked him to go near Nashik,
Yes.
because there are more Rakshas over there. The reason was there so that he can, and Agastya Rishi gave him the Dhanush and the Ban, and
Yes.
again he personally met at the southern tip also, before
Yes.
to give him the Aditya
In
Hridayam sloka.
Lanka also during wartime also.
Wartime also he met to remind him of what he had told. And also one thing I really like is Surasa came to prepare Hanuman to face the actual Rakshasi later on. So so all these incidents prove that it was a very lively it was a lively history. Like
Yes. Yes.
there is a
Definitely, it is a
there
lively
is
history. It is definitely history also. That is
definitely
important.
history. Yes. And the whatever the mountain tops and the hill ranges which are mentioned in Ramayan, because rivers can change path, but mountains cannot change. Mountains are fixed up. Either they
Yes.
can
Yes.
go
Yes.
down or up.
That's
But
why they are called Achala. Achala
achara,
means it won't move.
it won't move. It won't move.
Achala. Sanskrit word for mountain is Achala.
And one of the interesting thing was, even today the mountain formations are the same. And if you just one classical example was when the Sugriva sends his army to the east, to the west, west. Vinata goes to the west,
Yes.
and then Vinata goes to the east, and Gandhamadan goes to the west. So Gandhamadan, when he goes to the west, so after the Sindhu Nadi, so Sindhu Nadi was also there,
Into it is mentioned.
and the
What you told is
Sagara,
correct.
and the Sagara around the Sindhu Nadi where it meets is called Sindhu Sagar. So Sindhu Sagar is different than the Mahasagar. Mahasagar is the south of Jambudweep. Jambudweep means south of Kerala, like southern tip of
Yes,
India is
yes,
all
yes, yes.
Mahasagar. So it is mentioned. So when Ravana comes to meet Marichi, and Marichi comes to meet the place where the Garuda had already performed his pastime of eating the elephant, and so when he meets, he comes through the west in a plane. So if it was coming from Simaladesh and Sri Lanka, then he would have to cross all the different other mountains also. They would not miss it. But here he says, as soon the plane reached the grove of tar tree, the Nariyal tree, and he straight away went to the ashram of Marichi, where he was in fear. He was doing tapasya, and he was living in the place of Garuda. So that also was the second reference I used for the route from the Ravan's travel. But anyway, great presentation,
But
and
one
thank you,
point I
Doctor.
want to add,
Yes, please.
see, if it is a Ramayan is a myth, Valmiki would have not written that Rama killed Vali hiding in a hiding place. You want to highlight Rama's character, so you would have read directly hit the Vali. So what was actually happened? It was fully narrated in the Ramayan. That's why Ramayan is history, and that's why it is mentioned Idihasa. Idihasa means what happened like this. This happened like this. That is the meaning of Idihasa, and Mahabharata and Ramayana are the two important Idihasa of our nation. And with that, I conclude that what is my observation is both astronomical texts, Srimad Ramayana, inscriptional, geographical, Sri Lankan, and literary evidence strongly concludes that the present day Sri Lanka is the Lanka. Even in Tamil, ancient Tamil kings called it as Ilangai. Ilangai means in Tamil, we cannot have La as first letter. So we will add E. Rama, we will not call. Irama. Lakshmana, we won't talk. Ilakumana. In Kampa Ramayana, it mentioned Ilakumana. So we will add E. So Lanka added with E is Ilanka. The ancient name of Lanka in Tamil is Ilankai. So that favors the Lanka ruled by Ravana and Vibhishna is the present Sri Lanka. Lanka at equator is at the longitude. As you have said, it is 0 degree longitude, 0 degree latitude. That is correct. It is in the longitude of Ujjain. So it is mainly mentioned in the astronomical texts of our nation and was used in the ancient days only for astronomical purpose. This is my opinion, and we have to research on that. And mostly my research favors Sri Lanka only. That is my conclusion. I wholeheartedly thank you, Aditya ji, Sattology, all the office bearers and staffs of Sattology, and also the intelligent students of various American universities and professors and all great scholars. I thank for uh, fully listening this lecture. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. And next show, we'll, when you have time, we'll talk about the Kamban Ramayan and the difference between Kamban Ramayan, Tulsi Ramayan, and Valmiki Ramayan. If you have time, we'll
Okay.
discuss that.
Okay. Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you all viewers for watching, and do watch it, subscribe it, share it with your friends, and let more and more people know. We will continue these kind of intelligent conversations based on history. So just remember, Ramayana and Mahabharata are actual historical texts. They are not mythology, because mythology means that you are just telling them they are fake. And just because Western scholars could not understand Sanskrit doesn't mean that you do not understand Sanskrit. It's a great language to learn. Even NASA is promoting it, Western universities are promoting it. And the most beautiful part of Sanskrit is that anybody can understand. Most of the Latin and other English languages, including Indian languages, have come from Sanskrit. So if you read Sanskrit, then you will not make a mistake. So I always say, if you want to give a reference of someone who has not changed over the time. So Valmiki is a great reference to give. Ved Vyas is a great reference to give, and use those references in your conversations also. So thank you, Dr. Raja, again, and
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
all the
Thank
viewers
you
for
very much.
watching.
Thank you, Gigi.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaskar.